Can you close that cage? Because you can see it in the shot now.
Okay, good morning guys. Welcome back to Outcome Athletics Live. We are coming to you here on Saturday, April 25th, and we have a full hour of mobility prepared for you. So if you are feeling super tight, maybe you've got a lot of muscle soreness, you feel stressed, right, anxiety, like all those things, we're gonna work on all of that stuff today. So this is not a yoga class. I'm not a yoga instructor, right? But my goal is to help you mobilize your body in a safe way, in a gentle way, in a way that you can get a lot of stretching out of that. So I'm gonna give people a couple minutes to get tuned in here. My name is Bethanee Randles. If you don't know me, I'm a coach here at Outcome Athletics, right? And we are running live workouts right now, Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. and 4 p.m., right? Saturdays we save for Mobility Day, which is where we are here. So if you're here, go ahead and drop us a comment. Let us know that you're here, right? I see a couple people are already tuned in. Tim Ruck, Tony, Charlene, Carrie, Sal, Rose, Todd, Josie. Tim, you can do this in your tiny house. Todd, Derek, Lynette, Tim. Awesome. Good morning, Rose. All right, guys, so if you drop a comment in here, I'll be able to see. So if you've got any questions today, just feel free to drop them in there. This is a live class, right? If there are any super tight areas, let me know. We're gonna be focusing on the hips, the shoulders, the hamstrings, right? Full body, right? The ankles, the calves, so. All right, guys, I'm gonna give you about 1 more minute to get tuned in here, right? These are my assistants. They're being really good right now. Vito and Rue. This rarely ever happens where they're just sitting here on both sides of me, so. Good morning, Ginger. Right, guys, please feel free to share this video out, okay? We are gonna be live for the next hour, right? Share it with anybody you think could use this, right? AKA your entire friends list on Facebook, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and hit the little share button here. Okay, I'm gonna share that out there. Jackie is here, Rose, I saw her. I saw her sign in. Hey, no. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get moving here in just a moment. Okay. Jenny, welcome to the stretching party. You guys, no. Okay. All right, Cheryl, welcome back. Okay guys, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here. Now today I want you to make sure that you listen to your body. Okay, so if anything feels not good, right, don't force it, right? I want you to listen to that. If you feel like sharp, stabby pain, stop what you're doing, right? So only take yourself to a place where you feel comfortable. All right, Kara, here we go. Kara's here, we can start mobility hour right now. So what I'm gonna have you guys do first is just sit up, bring your knees into your chest. Okay, we've been starting our mobility hours like this with the nice gentle rock back. Good morning, Jeanette. I'm just gonna move Vito here. All right, so we're just gonna start just by bringing those knees into the chest. Okay, we're gonna let ourselves round our backs here and we're just gonna roll back and up. Okay, so if you need to just do a little roll or a slow roll, that's okay, right? Maybe you just need to work on laying back. Okay, but if you can, I want you to go through 8 big rock backs. So I'm allowing myself to round my back, right? I want to feel every vertebrae. This should not feel painful. Okay, this should feel good. Okay, so 8 times. Just nice and easy on the rock backs, right? I'm trying to get my feet to make contact with the floor. So I'm trying to sit all the way up. Okay. Okay, if you guys have been working out with us all week, you might be feeling some soreness in your upper back right now. I definitely feel right between my shoulder blades. Okay, so what we're gonna do from here is we're gonna go ahead and flip over into our child's pose. Okay, so we're gonna come down to the knees. We're gonna sit back. Okay, so my toes are together right now. You can bow your knees out wide if you want to, if that's more comfortable for you. Okay, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna rock back and forth here. So we're gonna glue our hands and we're just gonna shift back and forth about 10 times. So this should feel good. Again, don't take yourself to a place where you feel like sharpness, okay? So we're just rocking back and forth 10 times here. Okay, once we are done with that, we're just gonna walk our hands over to the left. We're just gonna reach across the body here. I'm just checking to see if anybody's got questions. Okay, so I'm just gonna spend a couple seconds here. And this should feel good. Again, you wanna feel a stretch, so we're reaching over to the left, right? We wanna feel that stretch along the right side of the body. Okay. Right, and then we're just gonna slowly walk it over to the right. So now we wanna feel that stretch along the left side of the body. Okay, so from here, good morning, Lindsay. Okay, we are gonna just come up into that tabletop pose here. I'm gonna go through my nice big cat and cow, right? So I'm getting a big arch in my back, with a big round in my back. I wanna try to keep my neck relaxed. Okay, I'm gonna go through this 10 times, so round and then to that arch. Okay, so again, we're just trying to mobilize that spine here, the neck, start to get that moving. So 10 times up and down here, guys. Okay, after we get through that 10th time, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and come up into our plank position. So if you can, I want you to pop up onto your toes, okay? We're just gonna hinge back into that downward dog. And then we're gonna bring it back down to what I'm gonna call bear, right? So if you do this with me every week, we go through this bear stance a lot, right? And it's just a good way to get those quads nice and warmed up. Yep, we're gonna hinge back into that downward dog and then back into that bear. So the knees are just hovering right above the floor. Okay, now if you need to come down instead of hovering and just take a break there, you can. Okay, so we're gonna go through this 10 times. Okay, if you are joining us from somewhere other than Washington, we'd love to know, right? We are based right outside of the Seattle area, right? We've had people join in from these for our workouts and our mobility days from all over the world, which has been really cool, right? So if you are here from somewhere that is not local, let us know where you are here from. Okay, so again, once we get through that 10th time, we can go ahead and bring both knees down to the floor. Okay, I've got one more here. And then I'm coming down to the floor. Okay, so I'll wait for you guys to get caught up there. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring my left foot forward. Okay, so I've got this nice hip flexor stretch going on here, right? I wanna be able to feel that stretch in the front of my hip and in this hamstring here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my, so same side arm. Okay, I've got my left foot down, I've got my left hand down. Okay, I'm gonna take that left hand, plant it right inside of that left foot. Okay, I'm gonna take that right side arm, I'm gonna bring my forearm down to the floor, and then I'm gonna twist and open up away from that leg. Okay, so I'm coming down, touching that forearm to the floor, then coming up, reaching for the ceiling. So I'm getting a nice little twist in my spine here. We're gonna go through this again 10 times. Okay, now if you can't take that forearm all the way down, you can just reach down, tap your hand on the floor, right? Then open up again. Okay, so I'm coming down, elbow to the floor, then opening up, looking up at those fingertips, and then coming back down. Guys, Rue is here for moral support. It's a Rue-ability session. Yeah. Okay, so 10 times here. Okay, if you need to spend a little bit of time in the bottom of that stretch before you open it up, that is totally okay, right? I'm gonna switch my legs now. So I've got that right foot coming forward. I'm letting that left hip kind of drop forward towards the floor, right? So I want to feel a nice stretch in that hamstring there. Okay, my right hand is inside of my right foot. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take that left arm. Again, I'm going to let myself hinge down, elbow to touch the floor, and then open up and reach for the ceiling. Okay, so down here. Big rotation here. I don't know about you guys, I definitely feel tightness in my hips this morning, tightness in my shoulders, tightness in my glutes, and I feel my calves, right? So that's just me. If there's a special place where you really feel tightness, let me know if you want to work on it. Let's see, Jenny says, my cats are jealous of Rue. That's funny. Jenny, I'm so happy that you're here. It's been really fun to reconnect with a lot of people I worked out with before I moved out here. Okay, I'm going through 10 repetitions here. Right, again, if you need to just tone it down and take that hand to the floor and reach up, right, that is okay. Okay, so when we're doing all this stuff today, I want you to think about, why mobility is important, right? Mobility is your body's ability to move through a full range of motion, right? So all your joints, right, being able to move them through a full range of motion, all your limbs, okay? It's super important to be mobile, right? Because if we have immobile parts of the body, right, it can inhibit us in a lot of ways. So Priscilla says inner thighs. Yes, so we're gonna work on that today for sure. Okay. All right, after that final one, guys, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just kick back into that child's pose. Okay, and we're gonna just rock back and forth about 10 times. Rue is sleeping now. Maybe. Alrighty, so, okay, the next thing that we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna hop up into that plank position. IT bands. Yes, me too. Okay, so we're gonna hop up to plank. Okay, from there we're gonna shift into that downward dog. Okay, so here I want you to pedal out your calves. Okay, I'm gonna go about 10 times here. I want you to do whatever feels comfortable for you. We've done a lot of jumping this week, a lot of jump rope, box jumps. We've done a lot of step ups, so a lot of different scenarios where we really had to use our calves, right? What I'm gonna do from here is I'm gonna walk my feet in towards my hands. So if you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. We're gonna widen our feet to our squat position, so just outside of the hips. We're gonna drop down into our squat. Okay, here we're gonna reach up to the right, reach up to the left. Okay, stretch out the hamstrings. Okay, come back down into our squat, and then we're gonna step or hop back into plank. Okay, so this is our first little mobility flow that we're gonna go through here. I'm gonna again push up into downward dog. Okay, and I want you to walk it out. So even if you're like, I can jump my feet in, I still want you to walk it out because I want you to feel that stretch in your hamstrings. Okay, again, we're walking it out. We're gonna walk to a place where we're opening our feet into our squat position. We're gonna come up, so chest comes up, right? If you can't stay this low, just bring your hips up to a place where both your feet can be planted on the floor. Again, we're gonna twist. This time we're gonna go for 4 twists. Okay, we're trying to keep those feet planted all the way on the ground. Okay, and then we're gonna extend again, stretching out those hamstrings. Okay, we're gonna sink it back down into our squat, and then we're gonna slowly step back to plank, okay? So we're gonna go through this a couple more times. Again, I've got that nice big downward dog. So my heels are driving down towards the floor, hips are driving up. Okay, and then I'm slowly walking it into my squat position. Good morning, Katie. Welcome to the stretching party. Okay, I'm dropping it down into my squat. I've got 6 big rotations this time. So I'm looking up at those hands. And remember, keep your hips as high as you need to feel balanced, right? So if you need to come up, it's okay. Okay, 6 times. Hello to Joe and Suzanne and Ryan and Katie. Back in the day, Katie and I used to teach RIP together. I'm pretty sure Katie still teaches RIP. One more big stretch with the hamstrings. Okay, I'm dropping it down, and then I'm stepping it back into my plank. Okay, downward dog. We're gonna go through this one more time. Okay, I'm gonna slowly walk it into our nice wide squat position. Okay, I'm dropping those hips down, chest up. I got 10 rotations this time. Okay, so we're gonna go big, big twist. Katie, thank you from Texas. Thank you, Katie. Thanks for tuning in. Someone tag Amanda Locatelli. Tim, that could be you. Okay, I'm doing 10 slow twists, right? Trying to keep those heels planted on the ground. This should feel good, right? It should feel like your quads are getting warm, right? But you want to feel a nice rotation through your spine here. Okay, so we're going for 10. Okay, just nice and slow. Okay, when we finish that 10th one, we're gonna come back up. Big hamstring stretch here. Okay, and then again, we're gonna step back into plank. Okay, so from here, guys, I'm gonna have you lower down to the floor. Okay, we're gonna start with just a little cobra, right? Shoulders back, chest up, right? If you're comfortable, you can push up into that upward dog, right? But only if you feel warmed up enough for that. Okay, what we're gonna do when we get here is we're gonna make sure we're pointing those toes. We're gonna look over each shoulder, okay, twice. So 4 total rotations. Okay, we're gonna push back up into that downward dog, and then we're gonna take the left foot forward into that pigeon stretch. Okay, so pigeon, right? My knee is on the floor, right? If I don't have a big range of motion in my IT bands, I could bring that foot in closer to my hip. Just spend a couple seconds here. Awesome. Okay, and I'm gonna plant that back toe. Okay, I'm gonna kick myself back up into my downward dog. I'm gonna drop my chest back down to the floor. Okay, again, cobra, just that little bit of pulling the shoulder blades back, or upward dog. I'm gonna look over my shoulders. Okay, this time we're gonna go for 8. Okay, so 8 rotations. We're just trying to mobilize the neck at the same time we're trying to stretch the abdominals. Okay, after that 10th rotation, we're gonna push it back up into downward dog, and we're gonna bring that right foot forward into that pigeon stretch. Okay, so I'm stepping forward, bringing that right knee to that right wrist. Great, and I'm just getting as low as I'm comfortable going here. I wanna feel a stretch of my IT band, so from the outside of the hip down to the knee. Guys, Vito is here to say hello, and now he's gone. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and plant that left foot. Okay, push back up into my downward dog. Coming back down to the floor. Okay, again, I can just go little cobra, right? Or I can go full upward dog. Again, I'm gonna look over the shoulders. This time, I'm gonna go for 16 rotations. So this should not feel bad, right? We're just trying to mobilize the neck. Bye, little Roo. Okay, I'm keeping those toes pointed. So you guys can see I'm not going super fast with these neck rotations. I'm also trying to not move the rest of my body when I do it, right? So I just want to focus on that neck. Okay, I'm going to come back up into my downward dog here. I'm going to bring that left foot forward and bring my left knee to my left wrist and sit into that nice deep pigeon pose. Okay, so I only want to go as low as I'm comfortable going. Okay, now if you guys can do this, right, I want you to just very slowly walk it down, chest towards your knee, and then we're just gonna very slowly walk it back up. Now only if you feel comfortable doing this, right? If not, just hang out at the top of your pigeon. Yeah, here we are thinking you guys are here to see us, me and Sal, but you're really here for the dogs, right? It's okay, it's fine. I'm not gonna hold it against you. Okay, so I'm just walking it down and up. I'm gonna go through this 5 times. Okay, on that 5th one, I'm just gonna hang out down at the bottom. So nice and slow, right? The top of my foot is pressing down into the floor of that right foot. For helpline. Okay, so guys, right now, if you're on Bainbridge Island, from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock, there is a food drive for our local food bank helpline house going on. It's at the Safeway parking lot. Okay, so I guess it's gonna go on today and tomorrow from 10 to 1. So if you're in the area, there's a electric pack Westie van there. And that's where they're collecting food. Okay, I'm just gonna hang out on the bottom here. Okay, we are really getting into the IT bands, so I've got my left knee forwards, my left IT bands are getting a nice stretch. My right hip flexor. Carrie says she votes for the Rubility shirts next. Doga and Rubility. That's funny. You know, I've actually approached Tony with a shirt idea for Olympic lifting that involves bulldogs and barbells. Yeah, let's take a quick vote. Who's here for the dogs and who's here for the fitness? The bent knee is just forward. So this is pigeon, right? So if I turn it out, right, it looks like this. Okay, I've got a nice little bend in that front knee. Okay, so I'm just gonna face you guys here. I'm trying to sit with my hips square, right? So if it's too easy, I'm gonna kick that foot forward so it's more horizontal. If it's too hard, I'm gonna bring that foot closer to my body, right? But I wanna be feeling that stretch all the way out through here. Okay guys, we're gonna go ahead and switch sides here. So we're gonna pop up right foot forward, okay, and we're gonna hinge down into that pigeon stretch on that right side. Okay, so again, my back foot, my top of my foot is pressing down through the floor. Okay, here I'm trying to center myself as much as I can. Now my right side is way tighter than my left, and that goes for my entire body, right? So I can't sit super low on this side. So I'm just gonna try to focus on sitting tall, pulling my shoulders back before I start to hinge down, right? Once I'm comfortable, I'm just gonna start to do my walk down and back up. Okay, and I'm gonna go through this 5 times. Priscilla, welcome to the mobility party. It's her first time here. We'd love to have you join us, right? And we do live classes Monday through Friday at 10:30 and 4. So it's just an hour-long workout. You can also find everything we've done on YouTube if you look up CrossFit Outcome. Okay, we've been filming every single day since the shutdown started, so since March 17th. Okay, the only day we've taken off is Easter, so. Okay, I'm just hinging down, right, 5 times. Because I cannot get as low on this side, right, because I've got a lot more tightness. Yep. Okay, and then on that 5th one, guys, we're just gonna hang out down there for a little bit longer, for about a full minute. Your IT band should be getting nice and stretchy right now. Okay, I'm just gonna hang out down here. This is my 5th one. Okay, again, we're trying to keep those hips as squared as we can, so we're not trying to lean all the way over to one side. So keep that in mind. Priscilla is here from New Jersey. Awesome. Thanks for joining us. Alrighty, we're gonna hold a little bit longer down here. Okay. Alrighty, so I'm just gonna come up nice and slow here. I'm gonna kick back into my downward dog. Gotta adjust a little bit so I can give Vito some space. Okay, and I'm just gonna shift back and forth again here about 10 times. So I'm trying to loosen up those hips. Now I've stretched them out, right? I'm gonna try to mobilize them right now with that shift. All right, guys, we're gonna start to get into the shoulders a little bit more here. Okay, I'm just gonna turn it out really quick here. Just face another direction and switch it up. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna come again to that all fours position. Okay, we're gonna take one arm, slide it behind the other, and we're just gonna sink our head down towards the floor. He's mad at me now, that's okay. Okay, so I'm gonna take my right hand, slide it behind my left wrist, reach down towards the floor. I'm gonna press through the top of that right hand, okay, to create some tension and a nice stretch along the right side of my body here. Yep, and then I'm gonna come back up and I'm gonna switch sides. So I'm sinking down, right shoulder towards the floor, tension through the top of that hand. Okay, I'm gonna come back up, switch sides one more time. So right side down. And I'm gonna switch it up one more time. You guys, feel free to share this out, okay? So if you're here, maybe it's your first time here and you're like, yay, stretch time, like, feel free to just share it out, spam everybody you know. Okay, we'd love to get this out. Okay, I'm gonna step my right knee forward and I'm gonna reach up actively towards the ceiling, okay? I'm gonna let whatever natural curve wants to happen with my spine happen, right? My top of my foot is down towards the floor. Yep, and I'm gonna drop my hands, switch sides, come up, reach for the ceiling. Okay, we're not hanging out here too long because we're gonna go right back into that shoulder stretch here in a second. Okay, so again, I'm coming down, right arm's gonna sweep through, reach across. Spending about 15 seconds here before I switch. And I'm gonna go back and forth till I hit both sides twice. If you hear any noises, it's not me, it's Rue. Hey, little Rue. Hi, little Rue. She's being a little judgy right now. Okay, we're gonna step it forward. Again, big reach, so not just arms up, but actively reach up for the ceiling. Couple big breaths here. And then we will switch sides. Okay, so you will get out of this what you put into it, right? So you can take it, like if you're super sore, just be really gentle with your body, right? If you really need a big stretch, like really try to get as much stretch out of each movement as you can. Okay, so here I'm reaching, right? I've got that tension through that arm, then I'm pressing my knuckles down into the floor. And then I'm gonna switch. hello Keith, Drenda, and Tomos.
Okay, welcome to the stretch party, guys. Okay, I'm gonna
Switch sides, so one more time on each side. All right, guys, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna flip over. Okay, so we're gonna get a little bit into those adductors, those inner thigh muscles, right? We're also gonna touch on out here, so outside of the shins, right? And then we're gonna start to get into the ankles. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is come up for my single leg V-up, right? But I wanna turn it into a stretch. So I'm gonna sit up, right? I'm gonna lift my left leg, I'm gonna point my toe, and then I'm gonna flex. Okay, point, big stretch forward, and flex. Okay, I'm gonna come back down. Okay, big deep breath. I'm gonna switch legs, so again, point. You should be feeling a stretch along the top of that shin there, and then big flex. You'll be feeling this in your calves, your gastrocs back here. Point and flex. Okay, so we're gonna go through this a few more times. Coming up, again, pulling that knee in so I feel a nice stretch in my hamstring, and then I'm gonna add to that with that point and flex. This one's a little intense, right? So just listen to your body, right? Don't take it to a place where you're crying. Okay, so first, foot up as high as you can get it, right? If you have tight hamstrings, that might not be very high, and that's okay, right? So again, point and flex. Okay, here we go, back to the left, coming up, big stretch, right? 2 times, point and flex, point and flex. Whew. Now, I really felt last weekend one of the tightest places on my body, and this was super duper weird to feel it here, was the outside of my leg right here. So right about here, yep, and it ended up being from all the jumping we did last week, right? So at the end of the workouts that we do, right, we do the live workouts on our Facebook page here, Monday through Friday at 10:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. We're gonna take you through some stretching after every class. So if you have time, stay for that stretching. It's only like 3 to 4 minutes, so it's not a long stretch, but it will help you to not be extremely sore, right, the next couple of days. All right, we got one more on each side. So again, big reach, big point, big flex, big point, big flex. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm just gonna check and see if anybody's got any questions here. Okay. All right, guys, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and plant my right heel down. Okay, we touched on this last week. So I'm gonna show you 2 different ways to do this one, right? So the goal is to target first that adductor muscle, so that inner thigh, and then we're gonna hit, again, the IT bands, the glute medius, and we're gonna add a little bit to the calves and ankles, okay? So here's the one way that you can do this, right? So this is kind of a toned down, modified version. I'm gonna plant that heel, right? I'm gonna take that heel, opposite side, flex my foot. I'm just gonna lift up, come down, and then I wanna keep my hips square, but I'm gonna allow myself to open up to the side. Okay, spending a couple seconds here so I can really feel that stretch. If I need my hand, I can use it for support, right? I'm gonna bring that leg back up, allow my knees to fall over to the side. Okay, I'm gonna let this leg bend, right? So I've got a nice 90-degree bend here. I'm gonna extend out. I'm gonna do 2 big ankle circles, clockwise, 2 counterclockwise, okay? Then I'm gonna shift back, plant that heel. Now, if you wanna make this a little more challenging, when you come up into that single leg bridge, you can stay up as you open up out to the side, Okay, otherwise you can drop your hips down to the floor, but I want you to keep your shoulder blades on the ground. Okay, so again, I'm gonna allow myself to lay that right knee down, cross that other leg over the top, right? My shoulder blades again are both down, so I've got that nice rotation from the hips down. 2 big ankle circles clockwise, 2 counterclockwise, okay? So if you're feeling pretty mobile in that T-spine area there, you can let yourself reach pretty far out to the side. Okay, we're gonna come back in, again, flex foot. We're gonna drive up through that right heel. So big bridge, squeeze your glutes, come down or stay up, right? We're opening up out to the side, trying to focus on keeping that spine down, keeping those shoulder blades down while keeping this leg straight, okay? And then I'm coming back up, boom, shoulders back. I'm gonna lay that right knee down, let that top leg cross right over the top. Now again, I can twist as big as I want. I just wanna make sure both my shoulder blades stay on the floor. Okay, then I've got 2 big ankle circles clockwise, 2 counterclockwise. Okay, so again, let's do that again. Okay, I'm coming back up, planting that right heel, straightening out that left leg. I'm gonna push up. Again, you can stay up or you can drop down. Okay, we're opening out to the sides. We're getting that nice big stretch here. We're using that right foot to anchor and to kind of counterbalance here. Okay, I'm gonna come back up to the center, drop that right knee down. I'm gonna let myself bend that left leg, okay, and then I'm extending out. 2 big circles clockwise, 2 big circles counterclockwise. Okay, and then I'm coming back in. We're gonna do this one more time on this side before we switch. Okay, again, planting that heel, driving up. Okay, again, you can drop your hips or you can keep them elevated for this stretch. Okay, and then we come back up to the top. We're gonna bend that bottom knee, right? Allow that top leg to bend, fold over across, right? And then extend out. Do your 2 big circles, clockwise, 2 counterclockwise. So you should be feeling a lot of things here, right? I'm definitely feeling it all the way through here, right? I'm feeling it in my ankles and my shins when I do that rotation, right? I also feel a nice big twist in my lower back, okay? Not a painful twist. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and switch sides. So I'm gonna plant that left foot. Okay, right heel is going up to the ceiling. Now, if you have really tight hamstrings, you may be more like this, right? And that's okay. So just go to where your body feels comfortable. Okay, hands are out. Okay, I wanna press my shoulders down. I'm gonna drive up through that left heel. Okay, I can either stay up or come down. I'm gonna open up out to the side. Remember, we're trying to keep those shoulders on the ground. You can use that right hand to support that leg if you need it. Okay, a couple seconds here. We're coming back up. We're gonna drop that left knee down. We're gonna allow that top leg to bend and fold over, right? Then we extend out, 2 big circles clockwise. I don't know if you guys can hear my ankle popping here. And then 2 counterclockwise, okay? And then I'm gonna bend it, come back in, right? Plant that left heel, hips up. Remember, if you wanna make this a little more challenging, right? You can come up into that bridge, hold that bridge, and then let yourself open up. Feel that big stretch. This is definitely harder. Coming back up, right? Dropping those hips, dropping that knee down, getting that bend, that extension, and then again, those 2 big circles, big circles. Okay, we're going through this a couple more times. I'm gonna check out here, see how everybody's doing. That video looks just like Vito. That really does look just like Vito. Do you see that? Okay. Now maybe you just need to hang out here, right? So that you can really get a nice stretch in those inner thighs, right? We're gonna go through this 5 times, okay? So again, I wanna check, make sure both my shoulder blades are on the floor. Okay, coming back across the body. Okay, I'm gonna go through this again. So hips up, drop down, open up. Make sure you're breathing, guys. Holding your breath for this is not awesome, right? So just make sure that you're taking lots and lots of deep breaths. Extending out, right? Doing those big ankle circles. Yep, and then coming back up. Okay, all right, guys, so the next thing that we are gonna do is we're gonna roll over onto our knees here. Okay, and I'm gonna face you for this one. Okay, you don't have to turn yourself, I just wanna make sure you can see me. Right, I'm gonna kick my left foot out. Okay, so I've got a nice flex foot here. Okay, and I've got my right knee down. I wanna make sure that I can be here comfortably first. We're gonna do something called an adductor rock back, right? So I wanna feel, again, that tension here. I'm just gonna sit back and down, right, to tap a little bit into those hamstrings as well, right? And then I'm gonna shift forward. So it's not a big movement, right? But it is enough to definitely feel like I am mobilizing, right? So moving those adductors and those hamstrings, right? So back and forth. I'm gonna go for about 10 reps here. Okay. How are we doing out there, guys? We hanging in there? We haven't gotten to the painful stuff yet. Just kidding, none of this should be painful, right? It might be mildly uncomfortable, but I think there's definitely some space between pain and discomfort, right? We wanna find that place where we feel like we're getting something out of what we're doing, but we're not taking it to a potential place of injury, okay? And that's how you should approach, most movement in your life, okay? Even your workouts, right? You don't wanna take it to a place where you are like questioning your own safety, or if you're gonna get, injured or tweak something, right? Okay, so 10 times. Okay, after that last one, we can switch sides. So again, make sure you feel that stretch first. Flex your feet, so toes towards your face. Right, now this again, right side of my body is the tight side, so I'm not gonna be able to go as far forward, right? But sitting back does feel pretty good, okay, here. Okay, so 10 times, just nice and slow for those adductor rock backs. Wish you guys could see these dogs right now. They're pretty cute. Okay. We're just cruising back and forth here for this super fun rock back. Okay, we're trying to stretch out the inner thighs. Righty. Okay, so after you hit that 10th one, we're gonna go ahead and come back to planting both knees. Okay, so we're gonna do something a little bit different here. We're gonna do some hip openers, and we are gonna step into a curtsy lunge. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and stand. I'm gonna face you for this part. Okay, so my advice to you for this one is to move slow. Okay, if you move super fast, you can fall over. Balance is definitely gonna help you here, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stand up tall. Okay, I'm gonna put my hands on my hips just for stability for these first few reps. I'm gonna take my right knee. Okay, I'm gonna do a big hip opener. And then I'm gonna reach back across the body, and then I'm gonna lightly tap that knee on the floor, okay? So my foot is still facing forward, right? And I'm only going down into that full range of motion lunge if I feel comfortable, right? From here, as I come back up, I'm gonna sweep that leg back and around, okay? So again, I've got that big hip opener, reach back, curtsy lunge. Okay, spend a couple seconds down here, check the knees, make sure they're still tracking over the ankles. Step up and forward. Okay, I'm actually gonna step a little bit farther forward so I don't have to worry about not having enough space here. Okay, so again, big hip opener, big reach, curtsy lunge. I'm gonna sit here for a few seconds, right? I feel a stretch in that hip flexor. I can definitely feel my glutes back here, right? And then I'm gonna step up and around, okay? So if you need to modify this, you can just go through, boom, hip opener, okay? It doesn't have to be the big sweep into the lunge, okay? So I'm gonna do a couple more on this side. Big hip opener, step back into that curtsy lunge, okay, and then step forward again, big hip opener on the way up. Okay, I'm gonna do one more of these. If you weren't sweating before, you may start sweating now. Just a heads up. Okay, I'm gonna plant that back toe, step up and over again, okay? So let's talk about the hip opener really quick and why this is important, right? Hips do a lot for us. They help us squat, stand, lift, right? Walk and run. So having a big range of motion in the hips is really important, right? So what we don't want to do is get stuck somewhere, right? Even if you're having a hard time balancing, just go slow, hold on to something if you need to, right? But just try to focus on getting the biggest range of motion that you can for yourself, okay? So again, switch sides, big hip opener, curtsy lunge, right? So that means that lunge is kind of going into a diagonal place instead of straight back. Whoop. Okay. So I think stepping forward is easier on this side for me. Stepping back is tough, right? So here, big hip opener, reaching back into that curtsy lunge, spending a couple seconds here, feeling that stretch along the hip flexor and even in the quads here. Okay, planting my toes in that back foot, stepping up and over. Okay, so we're gonna do two more, so we've got 4 on each side. Whoop. So again, even if you feel unbalanced, like pause where you need to pause, like take breaks, feel the stretch before you stand. Okay, I've got one more here. Whoop. Okay, so most of us are more dominant on one side of the body. You guys can kind of see what's going on right now. My stable side is my left side. So that's why I'm definitely a little more wobbly going backwards in this one than I am with my right. But I feel pretty good coming through to the front. Okay, all right guys, so the next thing I'm gonna have you do is go ahead and open up into your nice wide sumo stance. You know what's coming, right? So we've got those toes pointed out slightly here. Okay, what we're gonna do is just very, very slowly pull the shoulders back and we're just gonna sit down as low as we can go into our sumo squat, okay? So the goal is to keep your heels on the floor. Like you can see, I can wiggle my toes around here, right? And I'm just trying to take my fingertips to the ground. Okay, what I'm gonna do from here is I'm just gonna extend, straighten out the legs as much as I can, right? If you need to keep the knees bent, keep them bent. And then I'm gonna sit back and down, and I'm gonna pull my chest up, pull my arms up, okay, and just hang out right here. Okay, so again, I wanna feel centered on my heels. I'm gonna take my hands down to the floor, right? And then I'm gonna extend straight up, right? If I need to keep my knees bent, I will, right? If not, see if you can straighten your legs, okay? And then I'm gonna bend back down, pull my chest up, pull my arms up here. Okay, so try not to let your knees cave in. Think weight shifted to the outsides of the feet. Again, hinging down, big stretch in those hamstrings. Okay, dropping the hips down, pulling that chest up, pulling the arms up. Okay, let's do that one more time, right? I'm gonna bring my fingertips down to the floor. I'm gonna extend, right? Get as much length in those legs as I can. Okay, and then I'm gonna drop back down. Again, pull my chest up, arms up, right here. Okay, go ahead and stand. Okay, you can wiggle around, shake out your legs if you need to. Okay, the next thing that we are gonna do is we're gonna shift into that Cossack squat. So we're gonna shift to the left side first. Okay, now this is the deepest part of the stretch right here. If you can't go that low, what I want you to do is hinge down, hands on the legs. So this foot is still pointing out towards the corner of the room. This foot is squared to the front of the room. Again, if you can go down, I want you to come all the way down. If not, I want you to stay up high, okay, in that higher place. And then all we're gonna do is walk back and forth, right? So again, if you need to stay here in this higher variation, stay up here. But if you're comfortable, you can drop it down. So we're looking again on feeling that stretch in the calves, right? The glutes, the hamstrings. We're gonna walk it over to the other side. Rue is snoring now. Okay, walking it over to the other side. Right, we're just gonna do this a couple times here. We're getting close to the end of the hour, guys. It is 11:22 right now, so just hang in there, right? We got a little more time. Yeah, it is my dog snoring. She snores louder than most humans. Okay, so we're gonna go through one more on each side, right? You notice I'm sitting a little bit lower into this, right? The more mobilized my hips get, the lower I'm able to get into this stretch. Okay, so it's starting to feel more and more comfortable for me because we've done a lot of hip openers today. Awesome. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and stand, right? You can go ahead and walk your feet back in towards each other here. We're just gonna hinge down. Again, if you need to bend those knees, bend the knees. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna turn to the left. Okay, I'm gonna split my stance. So I've still got about a foot of space between my feet. I'm not walking on a tightrope, right? I wanna feel balanced, right? Almost like I'm straddling a train track here. Okay, what I'm gonna do is try to straighten out that back leg, let my right leg just soften a little bit at the knee, right? And I'm gonna hinge down. See if I can rest my chest along my quads here. I'm gonna take my left hand, put it right inside of that left knee, and then I'm gonna open up, looking up at those arms. Okay, then coming down, putting that right hand on the floor, trying to twist the other way here. I'm gonna do two more here before I switch sides. So again, this one's gonna feel more natural, right? Moving away from the knee. Twisting towards the knee is gonna feel a little more challenging. Okay, I'm gonna switch. Boom. Okay, so again, I wanna try to keep a soft knee, or a soft bend in my knees here, right? And that back leg is as straight as comfortable. Thanks, Priscilla. If you wanna come back to this workout at any point, or this video, you can, right? You'll be able to access this anytime on Facebook or YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna plant that right hand inside of that right leg. I'm gonna reach up for the ceiling. Okay, and then I'm gonna switch. Okay, switch again. Try not to fall over. All right, so what we're gonna do from here, guys, is we're gonna go ahead and come down to the floor. Okay, so I want you to come down to your stomach. We're gonna be doing some shoulder, again, a little more shoulder mobility here. We're gonna come down to the chest. Okay, and what we're gonna start with here is that we're gonna take our right hand, we're gonna put our right hand out to the side, we're gonna bring our feet and knees together, and we're just gonna press up, roll open, right? And you can bring that left hand in a little bit, right? The goal here is to feel a stretch along the chest in the front part of the shoulders. And we're just gonna spend a few seconds here before we roll to the other side. Okay, we're rolling to the other side. So we're switching hands, right? Left hand comes out, feet stay stacked, right? We're just trying to focus on that chest and shoulder area. Okay, go ahead and switch again. And back to the other side. Ooh, the sun just came out, guys, just now. Let's do 2 more. Hi, buddy. You're coming over here because the sun came out? Eee! Sorry, Vito. Okay, and then what I'm gonna have you guys do is go ahead and flip over onto your back. Okay, so we did this last week. If you have a pillow, right, or a blanket or a sweatshirt or something nearby, I want you to grab that. Okay, so I'm gonna use a pillow. Okay, I've got my pillow here. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and fold my pillow up, right, very slowly. Okay, like this. Okay, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this under my upper back, right? So I want it to be in the center of my spine. Okay, and my head could be resting on it or just above it. Like this is comfortable for me, but if it hurts your neck, put your neck on whatever you're resting on. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is plant the feet. Okay, we're gonna bring the arms straight up. Okay, so you should feel a nice even arch in that back, right? You wanna feel like your spine is supported. A foam roller also works great for this, okay? So my hands are up, I'm gonna drop my elbows down towards the floor, right? So if you're comfortable going all the way down, you can take them all the way down. Right? If not, just go to that place where you feel good. Okay, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep my elbows down in the same place. I'm gonna hinge down and let those fingertips fall towards the ground. Okay, so right here, you should be feeling a pretty big stretch. And your body should tell you if you are tighter on one side, right? I really feel it on the right side. I don't feel it as much on the left, which makes me think that I am probably overcompensating with the right side, which is pretty normal for my body. So it's not a good thing, but it's a good thing to recognize. Okay, so from here, what we're gonna do is we're gonna press, we're gonna keep that same angle. We're gonna press straight up. Okay, you wanna feel a nice big stretch throughout the body here, right? My fingertips are on the floor. You could also be hovering, right? And then we're gonna come back down to where we really feel that deep stretch, right? If you can, elbows and fingertips on the ground, rotate back up to 90, press straight up. Okay, so this part right here is gonna be like your little break. So we're dropping back down to 90, right? Or as close to that as we can get. We're gonna let those arms rotate towards the floor here. Again, we're trying to keep contact. We're gonna reach, big stretch at the top. Come back down, 90 degrees, rotate up, 90 degrees, and then press straight up. Okay, so we're gonna do this a couple more times. So you always wanna feel that stretch first before you start to hinge back, right? When you hinge back, it should only intensify that stretch. Unless you're just super mobile, you may not feel this at all, right? Which is not a bad thing, right? But you can elevate yourself a little bit higher to get a deeper stretch if you are super mobile. Okay, I'm gonna go through this 2 more times. So again, dropping those elbows down, letting those fingertips fall towards the floor. Big reach. Coming back down to 90, trying to get my elbows and fingertips to make contact. Okay, rotating up and pressing. Okay, I'm gonna go through 1 more of these. Guys, hopefully you can hear Rue snoring. rotate up, yep, and big reach. Okay, so what I'm gonna finish this with today is I'm gonna have you guys take whatever is behind you out from behind you, right? So we're gonna go spine all the way down to the ground. Okay, and we're almost done here. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and press the heels down into the floor, press the spine down into the floor. We're gonna take those arms and we're just gonna hover right above the ground. Okay, what we're gonna do is try to keep that tension here so there's no arch in the back, right? So from here, we're gonna open up, reach all the way up, big stretch. Don't let yourself arch your back, right? Only go to the place where you're comfortable, and then we're gonna come back down. Okay, so we're gonna go through this 8 times, but trying to keep that tension on that spine. So don't let yourself arch your back, okay? Vito's licking my foot. Okay, so I'm really not doing a lot here, right? I'm just trying to keep my spine down to the floor. Just taking my arms up like this, I can feel all the tightness going on up there. So I'm gonna spend a couple seconds, right? Because I wanna mobilize those muscles in that upper back. Okay, just 8 times, guys. Alrighty, so once you are done, you can go ahead and sit yourself back up, okay? So we made it through another week, okay? We made it through another Mobility Saturday, so I'm happy that you guys were here to join in today, okay? So let's see here, how do I know that's tightness? That's a good question. So most humans, like in today's world, at least here in our, where we are, have a lot of tightness up through here because we spend a lot of time with not awesome posture, right? Whether we are typing or reading or texting or Facebooking, right? We spend a lot of time hunched forward. So all of these muscles get really tight and they get really shortened. Then all of these muscles get lengthened, right? So when we open everything up, it might feel like a stretch just to pull your shoulders back. And that just means like, yeah, you've got some tightness up here, right? So I think we can all be, more aware of those places in our body that are super tight so we can give them special attention, especially when it comes to mobilizing them. So, all right, guys, we made it through. Thank you so much for joining us for Mobility Saturday, right? This has been super fun. Tomorrow we have a workout from 12 to 1. It is a long cardio type workout. You'll be done within an hour, so please join us back here at noon, right? Or Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. and 4 p.m. for live classes. So again, my name's Bethanee Randles. Feel free to like our page here on Facebook, share these videos out. Okay, it would mean the world to us if you could do that. So thank you guys so much. Hopefully you have a great weekend, and I will see you hopefully tomorrow.